Hey guys, I'm going to be doing a presentation on two different cases that actually have to do with the same issue. So it's Nick Sandmann versus the Washington Post and Nick Sandmann versus CNN. I'm sure most, if not all of you, have probably heard about this incident that happened in January. This is a photo, a screen grab from the video from what happened. So basically, what happened was Nick Sandmann, who's on the left, is a 16-year-old student of Covington Catholic. He attended a field trip in January to the March for Life. He was wearing his Make America Great Again hat, which made him pretty noticeable throughout the media coverage. It's a field trip that his school goes on every year to attend the March for Life, and they were waiting for their buses to pick them up after the march, and some a group of people that call themselves Hebrew Israelites were kind of taunting the students. So the students got permission to chant their school chants back at them. And while this was happening, a group of Native Americans who had been there for a separate event approached the students. Nathan Phillips is the man that you can see in this picture on the right. He, after wandering around through the students, eventually approached Nick, who you can see in the photo, kind of just staring into his face and beating his drum right in front of him. This kind of blew up all over social media, a whole bunch of different videos and people talking about it right after it happened. So that's pretty much what happened. The Sandmann family has said that as a result of all this media coverage and all the attention that it's gotten, they have received death threats among a whole bunch of other criticism from media outlets and various people on the internet. They're suing a lot of people and organizations. These are just some of the more notable ones out of a list of over 50. So the New York Times, The Guardian, TMZ, NPR, HBO, Warner Media, the Diocese of Covington, Lexington, Louisville, and Baltimore, GQ Magazine, Jim Carrey, Kathy Griffin, Elizabeth Warner, who's a current presidential candidate. These are just some of the people that received letters from the attorneys. They're not officially suing every single person on this entire list of 50, but these are the people that did receive letters regarding their coverage or things that they said about the event. So first I'm going to talk about the Washington Post case. So they have sued the Washington Post for $250 million on the basis of defamation. They reached this number because this is actually the amount of money that Jeff Bezos paid when he bought the Washington Post back in 2013. So according to this specific complaint, the specific articles that defamed Nick Sandmann were 7 articles, and this also included some other videos that were published on the days of January 19th, 20th, and 21st. So a little part of their complaint said this: the Post engaged in a modern-day form of McCarthyism by competing with CNN and NBC, among others, to claim leadership of a mainstream and social media mob of bullies which attacked, vilified, and threatened Nicholas Sandmann, an innocent secondary school child. The Post ignored basic journalist standards because it wanted to advance its well-known and easily documented biased agenda against President Donald J. Trump by impugning individuals perceived to be supporters of the president. So in this case, the Sandmanns are saying that the Post published the story from Nathan Phillips' perspective, who is the Native American man, and they're saying that they published the story from his perspective as factual claims, which obviously later videos that actually came out about the incident revealed that what Phillips had said was not entirely truthful. The Native American man, Nathan Phillips, said basically that he was trying to get through the group of students. He was trying to go to the top of the Lincoln Memorial, which is where they were at the time of the incident. When the longer video kind of surfaced in social media and all over the internet, you could see that this wasn't really true. The group kind of just approached the kids and were standing there. They weren't really making any effort to go around them. As they walked up to the kids, they passed a lot of clear paths that would have brought them straight to the top of the memorial, but they did not take these paths. So from when that new video came out, you can kind of see that these were not actual facts that he was saying. This may have been his perspective of what happened, but it's not really what exactly happened. The Sammons say that the Post neglected to do any research into the incident, and that if they had, they would have found this full video that revealed what really happened. Or rather, the Post did see this video when they were researching for this article, or several articles, but they did ignore it in favor of their, quote, anti-Trump agenda. So these two factors would constitute as either knowledge of falsity or reckless disregard for the truth. So the Salmon family has also sued CNN on the same issue for $275 million on the basis of defamation again. I think they have a little bit of a stronger case against CNN because although the Washington Post may be able to claim that they were publishing the opinion of Nathan Phillips and not actual facts of what happened in the incident, CNN covered the incident just as factual claims, which makes their case against them stronger because obviously the lengthened video that later came out proves that these claims were actually false. There are a couple other factors that also go into these cases, these two specifically. The family's lead attorney for these cases is actually Lynn Wood, who is very well known for representing Richard JOU, who was a security guard in the Olympics in 1996, who was falsely accused by CNN to have been behind the bombing of the Olympic Park. He is also well known for representing John and Patsy Ramsey, who are the parents of John Benet Ramsey, who is now super famous for her super mysterious death. He represented her parents in defamation cases against many media outlets that regarded reports that surfaced right after the death of their daughter that probably accused their parents of the death. The Richard JOU versus CNN case actually resulted in a settlement, and in my opinion, I think this makes it a lot more likely that they have a better chance of winning or at least getting a settlement since their lead attorney has a lot of prior experience in pretty much the exact same or very similar cases. Another factor is something that we've studied a lot in this class, which is what kind of figure he is perceived to be. I think it's pretty clear in this case that by law, Nick Sandmann is not considered to be a public figure. In the suit, they describe him as a private figure. And basically, as we all probably know at this point, this means that instead of proving that the media outlets knew that the statements were not factual, all they really need to do is prove that the statements were false. So they don't really need to prove malicious intent on the media side. They just need to prove that what the media said was false. Some people have raised the concern of the fact that Nick Sandmann actually did appear on NBC to talk about the event. Obviously, this was after the event took place. So at the time of the event, he was not a public figure. And obviously, he participated in the March for Life, but this was like hundreds and thousands of people that participated in that march, so that can't really constitute him as being a public figure. So in conclusion, I just want to put a little disclaimer. I do not support President Trump. I don't really believe that the Washington Post has any type of anti-Trump agenda. When I was doing research for this, I actually did a lot of research into which media outlets tend to be biased towards which side, and I even looked at some of those like charts that talk about it. And although the Washington Post does seem to be a little bit on the left side, I don't think that they have any clear anti-Trump agenda. I don't really think that's what really motivated them to write these articles. Obviously, this was a really big issue that was all over social media, and that's why they reported on it. But, however, I do believe that the Sammons, specifically Nick, have been a little bit unfairly judged and portrayed because of a lack of research that was done. I don't think it's a given that they are going to win these cases. I don't know how many lawsuits they're, planning on taking because at this point they have CNN and the Washington Post so far. The Washington Post actually has called for the lawsuit to be dismissed by the judges. But I definitely think they have a chance, but I do think that the media outlets are going to fight this because if they were to win or get a settlement, I don't think the media like CNN and Washington Post really want to encourage future suits if any situation similar to this were to happen. I don't think they want people to think that it would be easy for them to sue them and get a lot of money. So I do think the media is going to put up a fight. I definitely don't think the Salmons are going to receive $250 million or probably really close to that. I do think that there is a chance that they could win probably a smaller amount of money, but I think that a settlement is more likely, especially in the CNN case where obviously their lawyer has experience in reaching a settlement in a very similar case with the same network. So, yeah, that was my research that I did this semester. I thought it would be an interesting case to do since we have probably all been hearing about it since it happened in our area. I thought it would be interesting to learn a little bit more about it and read all about the cases that are unfolding, and I'm pretty interested to see where this goes in the future and how it ends up. Thanks for watching.